Today's conversation is going to be a deep-rooted conversation where I will be talking to our conscience as a Southerner. Whether you're a Yoruba man or an Igbo man, I would indulge you to please listen to my submission today. I have seen on the news that the Igbos have come out to sue the Lagos state for trying to preach only Yoruba as a local language in Lagos state. But before I go forward, if you are a Yoruba man and you have been my subscriber for a very long time, and what you are after is a divide in the southern Nigeria, what you always want is for the Yorubas and the Igbos not to have a friendly relationship. I beg of you, kindly unsubscribe. Okay? Kindly what? Unsubscribe. And as an Igbo man, if you feel that for every opportunity, what you want to engage in is ethnic supremacy, you want to engage in ethnic supremacy, please do well and unsubscribe. Back to the matter of the day. In the southern Nigeria, we must understand that there is only one element and only one region that will benefit when we fail to appreciate and respect ourselves. In the southern Nigeria, when we remain divided, there is only one beneficiary. That beneficiary is our common enemy. That beneficiary are those that has held us in this ugly situation and this unholy marriage called Nigeria. We must remember our history. When we talk about the Yorubas, the Igbos, we have to understand that ancestrally we are connected to Ilefe. You guys must understand that I, as a Yoruba man, I am not an Eta of the Igbo tribe. And I, as a Yoruba man, will not come out, will never keep quiet when I feel my heritage is being insulted. Why we must understand our differences and respect our differences is simply because we can forge ahead politically so that we can forge ahead collectively to defeat our common enemies, which are the jihadists, the northern Fulani'S. If by now you do not understand that every moment and every time the prayers of the northerners is for the Yorubas and the Igbos never to align politically, then we will never move forward. I have always seen how my fellow Yoruba brothers and my Igbo friends, they always get ethnocentric, they get defensive. Whenever these northern elements try to throw a seed of discord into the conversations, we start taking a toll against ourselves. In the past 1 year of social media, there has been so many words denigrating each other. How has it benefited us as the Southerner? We need to ask ourselves these critical questions. We really need to have a roundtable conversations that if we really want to forge ahead, whether you're a Biafran man, whether you're an Oduduwa Republic person, whether you're a Yoruba Nigerian, whether you're an Igbo Nigerian, one thing and one thing alone is clear. We need to respect ourselves. In the pre-independence era, even though back then we're not practicing a unitary system of governance, we will recall that there was relative respect for individualism. Everybody respected their region. Everybody respected themselves. And we will see that the weakness, the inequality, the inefficacies of the Fulani'S was brought to bear. We saw how they were exposed. We saw how they were fidgeting. We saw how they were scared of the major South. The conversations we should be having shouldn't be some elements that are financed by some northern elements, because I have done my investigations. No true Igbo man, I repeat, I have lived for over 3 decades in Nigeria, and I know that because I have related with Igbos. No true Igbo man will go and say they want to sue the Lagos state government for wanting to preach or for wanting to teach strictly Yoruba. When an Igbo man comes into Lagos state from the southeast, the one language they always want to learn is the Yoruba language, because they understand that for them to thrive economically in business, they have to be able to communicate. The same thing relates to a Yoruba man, which rarely happens, by the way. But in any situation where you see a Yoruba man traveling to the southeast, having a relocation agenda, he wants to learn Igbo. And of course, he would always want his children to learn Igbo. So those IPOB members, or should I say Ohanese members, not IPOB, sorry, Ohanese members that we know are political tools in the hands of some northern oligarchs. Was it not the same Ohanese the last time that started issuing out terrible statements? The same Ohanese that came out to say that their all support is for Tinubu, even when Tinubu stole the mandate of an Igbo man. The Ohanese, if truly they want the interest of an Igbo man at heart, shouldn't they have led the protest that Tinubu shouldn't have stolen the mandate? So we must get the fact that when we remain divided in the South, instead of us being united, there is only one element that enjoys that division. And they've understood that when they are divided, they can progress by exploitation. So they always tend to exploit our division. And here is why I want to remind every of my subscribers, and I will implore and indulge all of you to please expand this gospel. That it is dangerous for the Yorubas and Igbos to be divided as far as this Nigeria is concerned. When we are in the fight for freedom, for self-governance, self-determination, we must come together, because it is our territory that is being exploited by some elements in the north. I, in the southwest, saying that I want to have Yoruba being taught, I believe every true Igbo man will accept and adopt it. Yes, the adaptation, or the adaptation to speaking Yoruba does not take away your relevance, your economic contribution to development of Lagos State. I don't think the Lagos State governor, I don't think even Ebola Ahmed Tinubu, I don't even think Oba Sikiru of Lagos State can come out and say that the Igbos have not been consequential in the rapid development of Lagos State. It is impossible. Nobody can take that away from them. The Yorubas and the Igbos have largely contributed to the development, the massive development of Lagos State. But again, while we are developing Lagos State together, while we are developing the whole southern capital, commerce city, we must understand that our differences is what our northern Fulani'S adversaries we always want to exploit. Go to the comment section of this breaking news that Ohanese, that some Igbos have taken Lagos State to court over the tutelage of strictly Yoruba. Go and check in the comment section. The Northerners are the one hailing and pushing those, unknowledgeable Igbo elements that are being used by some northern oligarchs. It is squarely northerners pushing them, telling them, go ahead, go ahead. You know why? Because they know that the emancipation of the South will come even earlier than we expect when we remain united. When we are divided, they understand that when the Igbos are pushing for self-determination, because they are divided, the Yorubas will be quiet. When the Yorubas are pushing for self-determination, because there is this bad blood amongst the two major ethnic tribes in the southern Nigeria, the Igbos will be silent and look away. And for that reason, we cannot have a consensus. A consensus. This is why we see that in the House of Senate. This is why we see that in the National Assembly. It seems that the northern senators are more than the southern senators. But it is a lie. The core northerners, just 11 states. Then we have the middle belt, I think about 8. Or should I say 7. FCT, which stands alone, cannot be called. Yes, we try to see it as a northern state. But FCT does not everybody lay claims to FCT. But in the South, in the southern Nigeria, we have 5 in what? In the Southeast. We have 6 in the South. We have 6 in the Southwest. What do we have? In total, we have 17 against 11 of the North. I'm not going to count Middle Belt as North because the Middle Belt are also leaning towards the southern Nigeria. Yes. Maybe the Middle Belt, aside from Niger, because they're being governed by Fulani man now, or a man that sympathizes with Fulani'S, who is actually a Nupema, but he sympathizes with Fulani, so he sees himself as a Fulani man. But other than that, are we talking about Kogi? Are we talking about Nasarawa? Are we talking about Ilorin? These are states that wants to naturally affiliate. These are states, or Benue, these are states that ancestrally have that connection. We all share the same umbilical cord. In the ancient days, we were all going through the Nok civilization together. Collective. So we must see that the South actually has more members than the core Northerners. The South has more members than the Northerners. It is the simple, just this egocentric trying to defend what is not. We need to be deep thinkers. We cannot always be outsmarted by these elements in the North who have found a way to always expand and amplify our differences. Let me tell you, that every child born of the same mother, they have differences. One will either be tall, one will be short. One might be a man, one can be a woman. Okay? One can be an hermaphrodite. One might be infertile. So imagine that someone externally is now reminding the two of you, because you guys share the same mother. But it will get to a point in your life when one of you needs to give birth, but because he is infertile, then that enemy now comes about and I tell you that, hey, that your brother that's giving birth is mocking you because you are infertile. You know what happened? He start breeding the hate in the family. Then all of you will forget that you guys share the same motherland. You guys will forget that you guys are maternally connected. This is how the Igbos and the Yorubas are. If you go into the books of history, you will see that the Igbos and the Yorubas, down to the Benin and Co., we have an ancestral connectivity to Ile-Ife. Go and find out. Go and do your research. Only students of history will say that I am saying the fact. there is a divination that we all share. And that division is called Ifa. It is a binary system. A binary system. In Igbo, this is being done by the Dibias. In Benue, they call them the Dibias. In Yoruba, we call them the Babalawos. So we must understand that we must overcome this silly conflict that we always tend to have amongst ourselves. We must understand that our fight is beyond such peripheral conversations. Abia State can decide to have strictly Igbo in their educational system. We as Yorubas must respect that. If Oyo State decides to say that, okay, now every Friday everybody should put on the native attire, you find yourself there as an Igbo man, you must accept and to be ready to assimilate. Because this is how we have been existing before the colonization started. There was always a connection between the Igbos and the Yorubas pre-colonization. We had slaves, trade by barter. We had what? Trade by barter. There was something unique. We exchanged the traditional knowledge. We exchanged our technology. So I see no reason why some people will want to amplify this, start saying that the Igbos are trying to provoke the Yoruba. It is your lack of understanding that these are not true Igbos. That these ones are sellouts. If you go on the streets now and ask Igbo men there that, in public schools now, that is owned by the Lagos State, they have passed that only Yoruba will be taught as a local language there. Ask that Igbo man or that Igbo woman. I can bet you they will not tell you they are against it. They won't. They will tell you, so be it. Because they themselves want to speak that language. If I find myself in Imo State, because I have relocated, wouldn't I want to learn that language? Wouldn't I want to have my children speak that language fluently? So we must open our eyes and our head that it is the voice of Jacob, the hand of Esau, some northern oligarchs that are pushing this agenda to ensure that the southern Nigerians, most especially the Yorubas and Igbo, remain divided. For as long as we are divided, their own hegemony will continue to thrive. Let us wake up.